Um, this is the evaluation of my thriller film opening, Hunted, where I'm going to be answering 6 questions which will be posted below, where I reflect on the creative process and the context of my production work. This is presented as DVD extra. For the first question, like most film openings, my film opening has institutional information, which is the logo and an animation, perhaps, of film companies, which are the film companies who produce and fund and distribute the film. My institutional information is of Spotlight Productions and Nebula Films, which is just a little animation logo. It lasts for 30 seconds, which is typical of professional film openings. Also, my opening credits actors, which is also typical of film openings, and doesn't give away too much information, which allows the audience to become very curious and want to carry on watching the film to find out what happens, which is what my film opening does. But I think my film challenges conventions of a real film opening in that there is 2 contrasting atmospheres present in the 2 minutes. There is the chaos and thrill of Francis's scene, and then there is the calm but somber atmosphere of Amber's scene, which I think challenges normal conventions where there is just one real atmosphere present. For question 2, my opening doesn't especially represent any particular social groups, apart from representing teens in a very good light, as being very concerned for their friends, which is very positive, but otherwise it doesn't really represent any social groups in any other way. For question 3, I think perhaps Paramount Pictures, which is a subsidiary company of Viacom, which is one of the big 6 major film studios, and gets 16.8% of the US and Canada market share. So having Paramount Pictures distribute my film would be good because of its importance as a subsidiary of a major film conglomerate. For question 4, my audience would be quite large, not confined to any particular age or social groups, despite the opening having only 17-year-olds present as actors. The audience, I think, would be ages 15 onwards, as the rating is age 15. And in the plot that I've written earlier, many people from different ages and social groups and of both genders have equal roles in the film. I attempted to make my film opening appealing to my audience, which is this vast age 15 onwards in both genders and of all social groups, by creating certain aspects such as a title and overall design in accordance to the views of people from my target audience, where I did all my research by asking these people what they thought. Question 5, we had to use cameras and sound equipment, microphones to film the production, and from my preliminary task I learned how to use certain camera angles. I learned things like the 180-degree rule and over the shoulder, all sorts of camera angles, and I learned how to use the microphones and the boom poles and everything. And then to edit the film, we had to use Final Cut Pro, which is a program on Apple Mac. that was very interesting and also difficult to use, but only at first. Afterwards, it was quite easy to use, and I feel that I'm quite confident with using it now. For the soundtrack, we weren't allowed to use any copyrighted music or sounds, so we had to create our own on another Apple Mac program called GarageBand. I had a lot of fun using that, and I tried to make the music quite simple, but then also very fast and suspenseful at the same time to create the ideal atmosphere. But I only used soundtrack for Fantasy Scene because I feel that it needed the soundtrack, soundtrack to create suspense and to create the atmosphere of thrill and tension. But for Amber Scene, I only used the background noise of the weather and the cars and just general street noises, because I wanted to create the calm but somber atmosphere. For question 6, from a preliminary task, I've learned to film a lot more than I need, because it is good to have extra film right at hand in case something goes wrong. I've also learned how to use the camera a lot better and how to edit very well. I've learned how to use the camera in certain situations. For example, when Frances was running, and how to follow her very quickly as she ran. For my preliminary task, all I really did was just film and then edit it, because I didn't have long to do so. So I was able to pick up basic skills from my preliminary task to create my final piece, which is good. I have learnt definitely to carry on filming even after I've got what I want. For example, in my preliminary task, I accidentally stopped the camera as soon as the conversation had ended, so it's kind of jumpy. So I've learnt that I have to carry on filming even after I've got what I wanted, so it doesn't look jumpy. So in Frances's scene, I kind of wanted that effect, so I managed to do that using the editing. And that's it.